Hey, what's good, everybody? It's KellzHits here from YouTube. If you are new here, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment of your choice. If you are returning, welcome back. We're here today for another official video. Quick announcement. It doesn't matter what sport I'm doing, whether it's college football, college basketball, NBA, or NFL. I want to do one long video of all the games that I'm planning on predicting for you guys for that day in one video. So that way that, we could just watch one video and get whatever picks you want throughout this one video. All right, first up today, we have the Milwaukee Bucks versus the New York Knicks. The spread here is at -3.5, and the over-under here is set at 227.5. Now, the Bucks have won their last three, and the Knicks are 1-4 in their last five. Now, I personally feel like after the NBA Cup, I really like this Milwaukee Bucks team, and I really liked how much they have cared and gelled together quickly. But what they have did change, and what they changed quickly was a Chris Middleton thing. They recently removed Chris Middleton out of the lineup. They've still been winning, so we're going to see how far they go with that. The New York Knicks, on the other hand, with Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson, they haven't been doing well in their last 5 games, but I can see that they are going to be a play-in team still, and regardless, because of the talent of Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns. So for me personally, I feel like there's going to be a defensive battle in this game tonight. Give me the under 227.5. Next up, we have the Nuggets and the Dallas Mavericks. Denver Nuggets versus Dallas Mavericks. Both these teams have lost their last 2 straight games. But both of you have won the last 2 straight games, and they've both been very high scoring. The spread here started off at -3.5, -4, and then it jumped all the way up to -6.5 for the Denver Nuggets. So that lets me know probably Luka's not playing again tonight. Kyrie's probably not playing again tonight, and Denver should be fully loaded. In this one, I feel like with the over/under being, it started at 228, then it jumped up to 230. But me personally, that's not enough for me. I like the spread more than the over here. So give me the Denver Nuggets -6.5 spread, even though they're on a roll. Next up, we have the Sacramento Kings versus the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls put on a scoring clinic last game, putting up 134 points. But the Sacramento Kings, on the other hand, have won their last five games and have been rolling since they fired their coach, Mike Brown. And that was a shocking fire to me, which I didn't think that should happen. But it turns out it was a good move because they won their last 5 straight under their assistant coach, who's now an interim head coach. Now, the over-under here is at 238.5, which is really high for me. I expect it to be that high. And the Kings is -4.5 favorites, with them winning the last 5 games and just winning out, period. Again, I expected this. I personally feel like with the Bulls high scoring and barely playing defense, and the Kings high scoring and barely playing defense, there's no doubt in my mind that this is going to be a very high scoring game. The 238.5 doesn't scare me at all. I can see this being easy in the 240s, 250s, probably 260s. Give me the over 238 in the Kings versus Bulls game. Next up, we have the Celtics versus the Pelicans. Now, the spread here, the over-under here started off at 224 and jumped all the way up to 229. That's a 5-point jump. That's a big jump in sports betting. If you know any spread at high jumps like that, heavy money is coming in on one side. The spread here is at -15.5, which I expected. The Pelicans have been terrible. Zion just got suspended last game, which they had lost last game in Philadelphia. So the team is still rocky, and the team is not gelling together well. Brandon Ingram has been out. CJ McCollum has been playing his best and been balling, but with the pieces around him and the things with his age, it's not that much of a factor. The Pelicans actually got killed the Pelicans actually killed the Celtics last game, and they did that without Zion. So for me, this is a revenge game for the Celtics, and they're at home, and they just got whooped on. They just got whooped on in the last game at home versus who was it? They just got whooped on the last game at home versus it was Portland. No, it wasn't Portland. Either way it go, they did get killed at home. They only put up like 97 points or something like that. But in this one, like I said, I feel like the Celtics are gonna blow out the Pelicans at home. So Celtics -15.5. Very sorry for that. I was really trying to remember who the Celtics had lost to at home. Either way it go, moving on. Next up, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Indiana Pacers. The spread here is at -9.5, and the over/under here is set at 240. Now, both teams have been red hot. Both teams have won their last 5 games and been winning in high scoring fashion, putting up 120, 125, and just 120 and up. The lowest I've seen is 115. For this game here at Cleveland, one thing I do notice about Cleveland, they play good defense at home. Doesn't matter who they're playing against, they play really good defense at home. And I like the way when Cleveland is a very high number spread like this, it usually gets covered. But this Indiana team has been rolling, which makes me think differently about this spread and makes me focus more on the over/under. With both teams being high scoring like this, I'm projecting that it's going to be under 240. It's going to be a low scoring game. There's too much firepower that at some point it has to flame out. At some point you got to miss some shots. It's impossible to continuously go 6, 7, 8, 9 games putting up 120, 120, 120. As I just mentioned, the Celtics just flamed out from their 120 point performances, only put up 97 in their previous game. So I do feel this is going to be an under 240 game, and I do feel that the defensive side of Cleveland is going to show up tonight, even if they do cover that -9.5 spread. And then last but not least, the Cleveland Cavaliers does have a chance to cover that spread, but if you are leaning towards anything, I would take their first half spread because Cleveland comes out at home very, very well. Now we have the Magic versus the 76ers. The spread here is at -1.5, and the over/under here is set at 206. Joel Embiid is set to return this game after he missed their last game, and he's been missing all season. Paolo Banchero came back their previous game, and they lost a tough one to the Milwaukee Bucks, but Paolo Banchero had 34, so you could tell he didn't miss a beat at all as their superstar, their star of their team. With Joel returning, with Paolo Banchero, both of those two are ball dominant, and both of those two take a little while to get going in their moves and get going to scoring and stuff like that. Even though they do score very efficiently and are very good at scoring high points, I feel as if that both these offenses are going to take a little minute to get up and running, and that these offenses are going to be very slow-paced game this game because they're trying to interject both their superstars into their starting lineups and give them both back their roles that they're so used to doing and so used to taking over. And that can take some time to gel and get everybody else rolling, everybody else scoring, everybody else in the mix of the game. So for this one, give me the under 206.5, as I feel the 76ers and the Magic are going to be in a defensive clash more than an offensive scoring output. And this one, next up we have the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Washington Wizards. The spread here is at -16.5, and the over/under is at 231.5. This isn't even a doubt to me because the Wizards play absolutely no defense, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder pride themselves on scoring, especially when it comes to him. He always gets the 30 points. It's like not even a doubt in my mind he's going to get 30 points. Shai's like an automatic 30, and there's no such thing as automatic in sports or in betting, period. But Shai makes you feel like he's an automatic 30. But the Wizards have actually lost their last 5 games, and they've actually been blown out. But the Thunder have won 4 out of their last 5 games. Ever since the Thunder have came out of that NBA Cup and they lost that NBA Cup, they have been rolling. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the for sure and clear-cut MVP this season. I think he's going to win the MVP award, no doubt about it. And with Shai Gilgeous averaging really 33 points per game, he's been unstoppable. The Wizards don't play any defense, and the Thunder don't play any defense. And in Washington, the Wizards definitely don't play any defense. Give me the over 231.5 in this game, as we see a lot of points scoring and Shai going for 30, 40, potentially 50 points tonight. And last but not least, the last 2 games of the night, we have the Nets versus the Jazz. We have the over/under is set at 215, and the spread is set here at -4.5. Now, the last 4 out of the 5 games has been barely any scoring with the Jazz. They have been barely reaching 100, and then both teams are also tanking as well, as the Nets and the Jazz haven't even reached 20 wins this season. They are both tanking, and now neither one of them are going to get the #1 pick because Another team, as in Portland, is taking harder, and another team is taking even harder than that. But the over under here is set at 215. I believe it's going to be an over matchup. I believe with both teams not caring so much about defense and trying so hard to be able to be on a roster for potentially next year or even on their roster. So, you know, they don't want to get sent down to the G League. A lot of scoring is going to be in this point. Now, there's not a lot of stars in this game, which is why the over-under is set at 215 and why it's so low. But there is going to be a lot of scoring in this game because no defense is going to be cared about or played. There's going to be a lot of shots putting up and a lot of players trying to make a name for themselves. So the over 215 is the pick for this game. In the last game of the night, we have the Phoenix Suns versus the Charlotte Hornets. The Charlotte Hornets beat the Phoenix Suns by 11 last time. I remember because I bet that game. The Suns lost outright, and they were heavy favorites in that game as well. But the Suns are -7.5 favorites this game, and the over-under here is set at 224. This is going to be short and sweet. I expect a revenge game from Phoenix, and I expect the Phoenix Suns to blow out the Charlotte Hornets tonight, no doubt about it. Suns -7.5. That will be easy one. If not, just blow the whole team up. Again, if you are new here, thank you for watching and spending time with me. If you are returning, thank you again for watching and spending time with me. I will be back soon. This is what's going to be happening, continuing. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll get better at it, I promise. See you guys again.